Doom series.
Hmm.
Pretty interesting, but I don't want to play the hero. I want to play the bad guy.
Oh,
Yeah, come on, playing the good guy. I played the good guy. The maza comes only when you play the bad guy.
bad guy.
There was not a day where I didn't cry and put myself to sleep. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because I didn't know when I was able to get it, or not all the money in the world could have been able to bring them. We had taken finance for the movie and the interest had doubled.
Oh,
And, in all practicality, I was screwed financially.
hmm.
So, what we thought the price of the movie would be escalated by 30%. And here we are.
So, hi Vishnu, welcome to Pink Villa. Firstly, it's a pleasure having you here.
Likewise, pleasure is all mine. It's my first interview to Pink Villa, so I'm quite excited about it.
And I hope it goes well. The first interview.
Likewise.
So to start with, you are also producing the film, and it got delayed because of the pandemic that we are facing since last 1 year. What was going on in your mind when the film kept getting delayed?
See, at that time, it took. We were frustrated because the creative decisions, everything had to be taken in Los Angeles because that's where the director is from. And apart from that, coordinating getting the background score done because it was getting done in Chennai. The editor was in LA. There's numerous Zoom calls, and after everything done, we got the movie ready. And what I realized after the movie got ready was that we had taken finance for the movie, and the interest had doubled.
Oh,
And in all practicality, I was screwed financially. So what we thought the price of the movie would be escalated by 30%, and here we are. Releasing it on 19th, having all the pregnancy pains what I would have, like because it's the baby we are going to let out tomorrow, and now it's the world for world to see and then tell us how it is.
But with so much interest cost piling up and everything, there are so many films that took the OTT route to avoid the burden of interest. Did that thought ever cross your mind?
See, if the Telugu film industry was not, the audience were not proactive in the month of January, I would have definitely out to the OTTs. But in January there were quite a few releases which saw phenomenal response.
Correct. Crack and Pena. Yeah.
We decided to go ahead for March 19th.
Okay. And the film is based on the biggest IT scam. That's how it is being pushed as. Were you aware of this scam before the script came your way? And can you tell us something about the scam?
Yeah, see, I wrote this the script, and when I read about this scam in US when I was traveling, and then later I came to Hyderabad, and then I did dug research, and then I figured it happened in Mumbai, and then I came to Mumbai, spoke to a lot of people, and all those people came forward and spoke, and I spoke to the cop who cracked the case, and here we are with the movie now.
And this is a international film, if we call it, because you are releasing it in English as well. So
English, another week to shoot, and that will happen in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So the Indian version is slightly different from the international version. Okay. The Indian is 2 hours 10 minutes, whereas the international is 1 hour 50 minutes. And wrap up, as we saw the lockdown trend happening in January, when we saw a lot of these, places, running out of a lot of essentials, then we realized this is going to hit the rest of the world. And one thing which actually saved my ass was when I was traveling, I heard the speech of the Singapore Prime Minister way in February saying that it's not too far away. We are going to get it. The minute he said it, I was like, if this man's, I follow the Singapore Prime Minister very closely, and I'm like, if this, then something coming up. So he said, let's first wrap up the Telugu version as soon as possible. And you wouldn't believe it. So we wrapped it up on the 12th. They gave a notice that flights will be for expats will not be allowed to come in or leave or something of the sort by 14th. And 14th is when the director left the country. And 20th was a lockdown. It was pure luck.
Correct. So basically, you have shot both the versions differently. The Tamil, it's not a dubbed film. It's like a two different films altogether.
Yes.
Okay. And what were the challenges of that? I think it's a first for you.
It's a first for me. The biggest challenge for me was, in English, I can talk to you I don't mind like this. But when you have to perform in English a certain dialogue, in Telugu we are trained to do that. Where to eat, where to do this. But when it came to English, we were like, okay, it was a different experience altogether. Initially, it was a little difficult to me. Then we picked it up and we went forward with it.
Oh, okay. And are you looking to make a debut in Bollywood as well? That's the quintessential question that every, I think, Hindi publication or site that covers Bollywood would ask you. So,
if there's a beautiful role, which I think that if it ever comes my way, I wouldn't reject it. Though I'll be honest with you, I did get a couple of offers, not now, but 3 years ago, which weren't too exciting for me.
Okay.
Which was not at all exciting. So I was like, you're bringing me in, I have a certain image, it's, saying that I do action comedies. If you're going to bring me in, you better use my strength. And it has to be an advantage for the people who are going to bring me on. So why would you want to do something which is not going to help you or me?
And all through your career, I think 15 or 16 years you have been in the industry. Is there any film that you regret doing?
Which I like doing?
Which you regret doing and which you...
There is one film I regret doing.
Okay.
That's a long film. I don't want to say that because it's going to rake up a lot of heartburn to a lot of people. Okay. So there's only one film which I regret doing.
Okay. And is there any film of your contemporaries that you wish that you were a part of it?
Oh, quite a few. Bahubali is one.
Okay.
Come on, it's a dream role for everybody.
Anyone, correct.
If you come for Bollywood, 3 Idiots is something which I would have loved to be a part of.
Okay.
And, Doom series. Pretty interesting, but I don't want to play the hero. I want to play the bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, playing the good guy. I played the good guy. There's, the maza comes only when you play the bad guy.
Correct. And who is your favorite from Bollywood?
Quite a few people. Since a kid, I was a huge fan of Hrithik. I like, Amir Khan for a certain reason. I like Salman Khan for a certain reason. I like Shah Rukh Khan for a certain reason. They're all things. And of course, the evergreen would be the big B, the boss.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Mr. Bachchan Saab.
Of course, yeah. He's the universal boss.
There cannot be a better person, another person I really look up to while, playing larger than life and being like the man is Mr. Shatrughan Sinha.
Oh, correct. Of course, yeah.
You cannot beat that man, just a look from him once he says Khamosh, you have to shut up.
True. And in the lockdown, if I'm not wrong, your wife and kids were stuck in Singapore. How was that phase like for you and how did you be positive in that phase? Because, that was such an uncertain time for everyone in the world.
There was not a day where I didn't cry and put myself to sleep. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because I didn't know when I was able to get it, or not all the money in the world could have been able to bring them. All the friends were, I knew everybody. My father knew, all the top decision-making people. But it was a policy of the country. They were not letting flights come in.
Correct.
No private planes were allowed. No public flights. But I have to thank the government for giving the rescue flights. Because, in one such rescue flight is when they were able to fly out.
Correct. After this film, what next for you? What's happening on the work front apart from this?
I had paired up with the director again, who I did a movie a few years back called D. He's a popular director, Mr. Srinu Waitla.
Okay.
We are doing a movie called D&D, which is like double dose.
Okay.
So we're working on that movie right now.
And is there any film of yours which you want that it should be remade in Hindi?
D.
And then double D as well.
Yeah. Double D, maybe if, God willing, if everything goes well, I will make it into a pan-India film also. Oh. But D is something which should be made, and that's a kick-ass funny movie. It's a cult movie down here.
Oh, so yeah, I should watch it.
You should. It's a brilliant movie.
Okay. Speaking of pan-India films, do you think that we are just few years away from the time when this pan-India term will go away and it will just be Indian films, irrespective of the language?
You're exactly right. That's what's going to happen. I'm glad someone at least recognizes that. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be Indian cinema. It's no longer going to be a Hindi cinema. It's not going to, the actors could be from Bombay, Chennai, Hyderabad, or Bangalore, or Kerala. but it's going to be Indian cinema.
Correct. And before signing off, is there anything that you would want to say about the IT scam on which the film is based?
See, a brother and sister from a slum area decides to scam Americans, and with no moral compass, they didn't know where to stop. 2,500 crores is quite a lot of money. For generations, they could have lived it off. And they destroyed thousands of people. Thousands of homes they destroyed. And they had no moral compass. They were like, so what? You know, those guys are rich in America. They forget to realize that even they are hardworking people. And how they were caught, how they escaped the American system and escaped the Indian system. That was the beautiful part of the story which we kind of tried to portray.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. It was a pleasure talking to you, and really
Likewise.
looking forward to the film as well as DNDD.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you and good luck.